At the edge of the world, at land's end, there is a headland extending into the sea. At the end of that headland stands a tower. The 9th tower. Within the tower lies mystery and meaning. Truth and troth. Revelations and realizations. All you need to do is open the door.
Etrer inkommen. Etrer inkommen. Etre exegias va. Vater med landveter. Etrer inkommen. Etrer inkommen. Edre exegias va. Vater med landveter. Etrer inkommen. Etrer inkommen. Edre exegias va. Vater med landveter. I heard someone singing that song recently. I have to admit that it frightened me. I also heard Ek trui a landveter.
Oh really? I'm true to the land, Wights. I've heard that before.
Bolsmun als batna.
Evil will turn better. Heard that one too. I've seen and heard a lot of things. I wasn't always like this, blackened skin and rags. I wasn't always a troll. Once upon a time. That's how stories begin, right? Once upon a time. Well, once upon a time, I shone. I had the finest garments, I had purpose, I had a family. That was when humans called me Budlunger, protector, or sometimes Mildinger, the generous one. I now go by an older name, Arya Marquis, the stranger. Back in Scandinavia, I used to share my land with the family of a man named Kodron. My stone home was on the same land he farmed, and in the interest of frith and kinship, I guarded his cattle, gave him advice, showed him what I could of skulth, and he gave me respect and gifts in return. I ser til gildeskjof. A gift always looks for a gift. That's another one that used to be real popular. Kodron's son was newly converted to the ways of the Hvita Christ, the White Christ. He brought a bishop around to meet Kodron. Kodron, like so many, was very impressed by this bishop. He thought he was very powerful and had the second sight. Kodron told the bishop about me. Told him all the things I did for him. Told him where my family and I lived. My family and I heard the commotion outside, heard horrifying sounds, and felt the power of this man's rituals, his prayers, his holy water. That night, I went to Kodron in a dream. I was sure that Kodron didn't know what was going on. I cried to him, "Make this man stop! You need to stop him! He's trying to drive us away! He poured boiling water on our home! My children are in pain. They burn, Kodron. They burn!" Kodron, please help us. On the next night, the bishop came again. Our home was being destroyed, our clothing gone. Black skins were all we had to wear. My children were gravely wounded. I went back to Kodron as he dreamt. Do you not care? Why are you doing this? I have always brought you prosperity. I have always guarded you and your family. Why are you letting him kill us? Kodron ran away deeper into his dreams. The third night the bishop came, one last time. My children were dead, my skin blackened and burnt. So I visited Kodron, one last time. Traitor! I'm leaving, traitor. Exile, outcast, that's what I am now. That's what you've made me. This is all thanks to you. So I left. In my travels, I came across others who had been exiled. As I passed a farm, I saw a clan of Wights leaving the hills with all of their belongings. I was glad to see that they were leaving healthy and intact. I was also more than a little jealous and wrathful. I stayed in their abandoned home for the night. The humans, ironically, were preparing for winter nights. They had abandoned their troth, but were still getting ready for their party and feast. All about them, I guess. It's always all about them. It was probably very stupid of me to stay there. They were leaving for a reason, and I had no idea when the priests would come. But I did it anyway. As I wandered through the tunnels, feeling sorry for myself, I heard grunting sounds. I followed them and came into a small cavern, where a small Bergwight was trying to dislodge a tattered piece of cloth from behind a rock. Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
Shouldn't you have left with the others?
I came back for this. It's mine. Thorhall's son gave it to me last Yule. It's mine. He's dead now. Got real sick last winter. Why are you here?
The priest drove me from my home. Killed my family.
Yeah, that's why we're leaving. Don't want the same thing to happen to us.
Did someone warn you?
Sort of. A few nights ago, the air got cold. There was a sound of horses riding down from the north. We all came to see. One of the men from the farm, young Thithrandy, he heard the commotion and came out to investigate. He saw 9 dark riders, dark women, galloping through the settlement. He drew his sword to defend himself, but they cut him down. Not quickly. He didn't die quickly. He died by daybreak, though.
Did they understand? Did they understand what they had done?
Thorhall did. Thorhall has the second sight, and he told them. He knew it was the Disir. He knew it was the mothers. He knew they were taking final tribute from a faithless people. They didn't change anything. They just prayed harder to their new gods. That's when we knew. That's when we packed up. That's when there was no more hope.
Where are you going?
East, mostly. Some want to head south. I don't know. Do you want to come?
Yes. Yes, I do. I've been wandering ever since. I've come across many people who proved to me that they were not as trusty as trolls. And who proved the Dvergar right. Those that you might call dwarves. They prove them right when they very commonly grumble about the faithlessness of humans. Woe to the miner who steals from the dvergar without the proper offerings. Ropes are so very easy to cut, you know. But recently, there has been something new happening. And like that song, it frightens me a bit. People have started saying the old prayers again. They have given blot. They have carved runes. They have turned the mills. I remember what it is like to be warm and to be with family. And this frightens me. There are so few who remember, and fewer still who act. But I want to talk and to listen. Maybe, someday, someone will say that once upon a time New Frith was forged, when a small but true clan asked the questions. What mit landveter? When people ask, how fare the Wights? Welcome back to Tales from the Ninth Tower. I'm Lothar Tuppen, and the story you just heard is one of my very favorite stories to tell. The source for both of those accounts is Odr Snorreson's saga of King Olaf Tryggvason, who reigned over Norway AD 995 to AD 1000. But I first encountered the two stories regarding Kodran and Thithrondi in the Coming of Christianity chapter of H.R. Ellis Davidson's book Scandinavian Mythology. When I first read those stories, I felt the wind get knocked out of me. It was one of those powerful times when something you read just kicks you in the gut in a way that everything feels different afterwards. The song that was sung at the beginning of the story is Old Norse and set to the tune of a traditional Scandinavian song. The lines comprising the lyrics are Eter inkommen. The family comes. Heder exegjasva. I heard them speak. Wat mit landveter. How fare the Wights? The term white and its different cultural variants can mean different things. But in certain cultural contexts, it encompasses all entities, spiritual or physical, human or other than human. And that's how I'm using it here. Wights are simply the spirits of the land. The spirits that with whom, in a world of increasing environmental degradation, we would do well to repair our relationships. Whether one takes white, a Wight, as a literal being, or just a metaphor for a proper, balanced relationship between us and nature, a nature that we are inherently a part of, whether we wish to acknowledge it or not, this is important. In this world that we have made, such stories have much to teach us. Hopefully we can learn. Hail the stories, hail the listeners, and hail the Landveter. Tales from the Ninth Tower number 4. How Fare the Wights? Story arrangement and performance by Lothar Tuppen. Sound effects from the Free Sound Project. Music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech. Sound design and mastering by Lothar Tuppen. This presentation is copyright 2023 to Lothar Tuppen, and this recording is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license. All other rights are reserved. The Ninth Tower Productions.